Welcome, dear listener, to a journey through England in the 1800s, where smoky skies and roaring factories rise on the strength of coal. Beneath Lancashire's green hills, miners like John Miller step into crushing darkness, where the air hums with the clink of picks and the faint hiss of poisonous gas. The mines are harsh, their tunnels cold and tight, yet they pulse with the quiet courage of men and children who toil below. John, a sturdy miner with weathered hands, approaches the pit's edge, his lamp a small spark in the gloom, his heart steady against the dangers ahead. His story, woven with sweat and hope, speaks for countless miners who fueled a nation's growth. As you rest in your cozy bed, far from the damp stone and choking dust, let your mind drift to John's world, where each day tests the spirit, yet each step shows human strength. The scent of coal dust, the creak of a cage sinking into the earth, the soft laughter of a miner's family, these threads weave a tale that shaped history. Where are you tonight? A quiet room in Mumbai or a calm night in New York? Let's follow John through a day in the mines, a soothing saga of hardship and heart, guiding you gently towards sleep. The pre-dawn air hangs cold and damp over a Lancashire village in the 1800s, the stars fading as a faint grey light creeps across the smoky horizon, casting long shadows over the cobblestone paths. John Miller, a sturdy miner with hands hardened by years of toil, pulls on his worn boots, their leather cracked and patched, the soles thin from endless trudging. He steps out from his small cottage, the door creaking softly, the air sharp with the Thames of coal smoke from neighboring hearths. The village is hushed, its stone cottages huddled under a thin veil of frost, their chimneys puffing faint clouds. Into the chilly sky, the distant clatter of a cart breaks the silence, its wheels grinding over the uneven road, a reminder of the world stirring to life. John's breath clouds in the cold, his heart heavy with the weight of the day ahead, yet steady with the quiet resolve of a man shaped by the mines. Welcome, dear listener, to John's world, where the earth's dark heart calls him each morning, a realm of crushing darkness and unseen dangers. As you rest in your cozy bed, far from the cold paths and choking dust of this industrial age, let your mind drift to John's descent, a journey into the depths where courage is his only light. Let's follow him to the pit's edge, where the day begins with a creak and a plunge, a soothing tale to guide you gently toward sleep. John walks the familiar path to the colliery, his boots crunching on the gravel, each step a rhythm as steady as his heartbeat. The air is thick with the scent of coal smoke, a constant in this village where every home burns the black rock he pulls from the earth. The colliery looms ahead, its wooden headframe a stark silhouette against the dawn, its winding engine hissing steam like a restless beast waking for the day. Other miners join him, their figures emerging from the mist, their faces shadowed under cloth caps, their voices low and rough from years of dust and toil. They are a brotherhood bound by the mine's unyielding grip, their camaraderie a quiet strength in the face of danger. John nods to his friend Tom, a wiry man whose cough echoes in the morning air, a lingering scar from the mine's cruel air. Their shared glance is a silent vow, a promise to watch each other's backs in the darkness below, a bond forged in shared hardship at the pithead. The miners gather, their oil lamps, simple tin cans with wicks soaked in whale oil, flickering like fireflies in their hands. The overseer, Mr. Hargreaves, stands by the shaft, his ledger open, his pen scratching as he checks names, his eyes sharp for any sign of tardiness or weakness. His voice is gruff, barking orders over the hum of the engine, his presence a reminder of the mine's strict rules. John adjusts his lamp, its flame small but steady, a fragile shield against the void he's about to enter. The lamp's tin is dented, its handle worn smooth by his grip, a tool as vital as his pickaxe, its light a lifeline in the crushing darkness below. The miners stand close, their shoulders brushing, their breaths mingling in the cold, their faces set with the quiet determination of men who know the risks but carry on. The cage, a rickety iron platform barely wide enough for a dozen men, waits at the shaft's mouth, its chains clanking softly, its floor slick with mud and coal dust from countless boots. John steps aboard, his lamp hooked to his belt, its faint glow casting a dim circle around him. The miners press tight, their bodies warm in the chill, their silence heavy with the weight of what lies below. The air already carries the musty scent of damp earth, a hint of the mine's embrace, its walls closing in even before the descent begins. The bell rings, a sharp clang that cuts through the stillness, and the cage lurches, its chains groaning as the steam engine grinds to life. The ground falls away, the pale light of dawn vanishing like a dream, replaced by a heavy darkness that presses against John's skin, a cloak that swallows sound and sight, leaving only the creak of the cage and the thud of his heart. The descent is slow, the cage rattling down the shaft, its walls narrowing, the air growing colder and thicker, laced with the sharp bite of coal dust and the sour temp stone. The miners are quiet, their faces lit only by the flicker of their lamps, their eyes fixed on the unseen depths, their breaths shallow in the tightening space. John grips the cage's edge, his knuckles pale, his fingers rough with calluses, his thoughts drifting to his wife Mary, her warm smile a distant comfort, and their son Thomas, a boy of 10 who will soon join him in the mine, his small hands already marked by coal. The shaft walls, rough and glistening with moisture, brush close, their surface scarred by years of picks and carts, a testament to the countless lives spent carving this underworld. The cage creaks, its chains straining, the sound a low moan that seems to rise from the earth itself, a reminder of the mine's power. Its depths a world apart from the village above. The cage shudders as it reaches the main gallery, some 300 feet below the surface, the air now warm and damp, heavy with the weight of the earth. John steps out, his boots sinking into the muddy floor. The tunnel low and narrow, its roof propped by wooden beams that groan under the pressure of stone above. The gallery stretches into shadow, its walls black with coal, its air thick with dust that clings to his skin, stings his eyes, and coats his throat. The miners disperse, their lamps bobbing like stars in the void, their voices muffled as they head to their seams, each man a solitary figure in the crushing darkness. John follows a familiar path, his back bent to avoid the low roof, his lamp casting jagged shadows that dance across the walls, a silent guide in this labyrinth of tunnels. The tunnel twists and narrows, its floor uneven, strewn with loose coal, and slick with water that drips from the ceiling, each drop a soft patter in the quiet. John's lamp flickers, its wick burning low, the flame a delicate balance between light and danger in a mine where gas could spark disaster. He pauses to adjust it, his fingers steady despite the cold, his breath a faint cloud in the damp air. The mine is alive with sound, the distant clink of picks, the groan of carts on iron rails, the faint rush of air through ventilation shafts. But it's the silence between that weighs heaviest, a reminder of the earth's indifference, its power to claim those who falter. John's heart beats steady, his resolve a quiet fire, his life tied to this dark world. Its dangers as familiar as the village's smoky air. The seam where John works is a narrow vein, barely high enough to kneel, its coal face gleaming black under his lamp's faint light. He sets his tools down, a pickaxe, its handle worn smooth by years of swings, and a shovel, its blade dulled by endless loads of coal. The air here is stifling, the dust thicker, coating his lips and throat, a constant irritation he brushes aside. With a practiced flick of his hand, he kneels, his knees pressing into the cold, muddy floor, his lamp hooked to a beam above, its glow a small circle in the vast dark. The coal face looms, its surface rough, its depth a promise of grueling hours. Ahead, John raises his pick, its weight familiar in his hands, and swings, the blade biting into the coal. A sharp crack echoing in the tunnel, the first note in the day's relentless rhythm. The work begins. Each swing a jolt through his arms, each chip of coal a small victory in a battle that stretches through the day. The dust rises, a choking haze that stings his eyes, his breath shallow to avoid the worst of it. His lamp flickers, the flame wavering as air shifts through the seam. A reminder of the mine's unseen dangers. Fire damp, a gas that could ignite with a spark, or black damp, a silent killer that steals breath. John works methodically, his movements honed by years below, his mind focused on the coal, the cart, the quota that keeps his family fed. The tunnel is his world now, its darkness a cloak that hides the sky, its walls a prison that tests his spirit, yet his hands move with purpose, his heart anchored by thoughts of Mary's gentle touch, Thomas's eager voice calling him home. The historical context of John's descent lies in the heart of the Industrial Revolution, when coal was the lifeblood of England's factories, railways, and homes. In Lancashire, collieries, like John's, were the backbone of progress, their depths worked by men, women, and children in conditions that tested human endurance. Shafts, often poorly ventilated, were prone to gas explosions, roof collapses, and flooding, with thousands dying each year in accidents that shocked the nation. The cage, a crude iron lift powered by steam, was the only path in and out, its descent a daily gamble with fate. The oil lamp, or later the Davy lamp, introduced in the 1810s, was a miner's lifeline, its flame a fragile guard against gas, its light a symbol of hope in a world of peril. Miners like John faced long shifts, 10 to 12 hours, under constant threat, their wages barely enough to feed their families, their lives a testament to resilience born of necessity. John's seam is one of many in the sprawling network of tunnels, each worked by men like him, their picks and shovels the tools of a nation's growth. The mine's layout is a maze, its galleries branching into smaller veins, some so low that miners crawl, their knees bruised, their backs aching. Ventilation shafts, driven by furnaces at the surface, push air through the tunnels. But it's often stale, heavy with dust and gas, a constant reminder of the mine's dangers. John knows the risks, stories of explosions that shook the earth, of mates lost to falling rock or choking air, but he pushes them aside, his focus on the coal face, his swings steady. His lamps glow a small defiance against the dark. The mine's rhythm is relentless. It sounds a chorus of labor, the clink of picks, the scrape of shovels, the creak of timbers holding back the earth. The miners work in pairs or small groups, their lamps casting overlapping pools of light, their voices low as they share brief words between swings. John's partner, Tom, works nearby, his cough a constant undercurrent, his hands steady, despite the mine's toll. They speak little, their bond unspoken, built on years of shared shifts, shared dangers. Tom's lamp flickers, its flame weaker than John's, a sign of thinning oil, and John pauses to share a drop from his own. A small act of care in a place that offers none. The gesture is quiet, unnoticed by the overseer's distant shouts. But it binds them, a flicker of humanity in the crushing darkness. A reminder that they are more than the coal they dig. The seam yields slowly, each chunk of coal a hard one. Prize, its weight adding to the cart that waits nearby, its iron frame scarred and heavy. John's muscles burn, his shoulders tight, the dust coating his face, his eyes watering in the haze. He pauses to wipe his brow, his sleeve rough against his skin, his breath a ragged sigh in the stifling air. The lamp above sways slightly, its flame steady but low, the air shifting with a faint breeze from the ventilation shaft, a lifeline that keeps the gas at bay. John's thoughts drift to the surface, to Mary kneading dough in their small kitchen, to Thomas tying his boots, preparing to join the children in the mine's lower tunnels. The thought of his son in this darkness tightens his chest, but he pushes it down, his pick raised again. His swings a steady rhythm against the coal. The mine's dangers are ever present, woven into its very air. Fire damp, a mix of methane and air lurks in pockets, invisible until a spark sets it ablaze. A threat John checks with his lamp's flame, watching for the telltale blue cap that signals gas. Black damp, a mix of carbon dioxide and nitrogen, can pool in low seams, stealing breath without warning, its presence a silent menace. John moves carefully, his eyes scanning the roof for loose rock, his ears tuned to the creak of timbers, the mine's warnings as subtle as a whisper. He knows men who've been lost, crushed, burned, or suffocated. Their names spoken softly in the village pub, their absence a weight on every miner's heart. Yet John works on, his hands steady, his resolve a quiet fire that burns through the fear. The historical record of this era paints a grim picture, with government reports like the 1842 Children's Employment Commission exposing the mine's horrors. Men like John worked alongside women and children as young as 5, crawling through seams barely 2 feet high, their bodies bruised, their lungs scarred by dust. Accidents were common, with over 1,000 deaths recorded yearly in the 1840s, from explosions, collapses, or simple exhaustion. The Davy lamp, while safer than open flames, was no guarantee. Its gauze prone to failure in thick gas. Ventilation systems, reliant on furnaces or early fans, were often inadequate, leaving miners like John to breathe air thick with danger. Yet, their labor powered England's growth, their coal firing the engines of factories, the wheels of trains, the hearths of homes. Their lives a hidden foundation of progress. John's descent is not just a journey into the earth, but into a life defined by toil and risk. Each step, each swing, is a defiance of the mine's grip, a refusal to let it claim his spirit. The tunnel stretches ahead, its shadows deep, its air heavy with dust. But John's lamp burns steady, a small beacon in the dark. His thoughts linger on Mary, her hands floured from baking, and Thomas, his small frame bent under a cart's weight. The mine tests him, its darkness a weight on his soul, but his heart holds firm, anchored by love, by duty, by the quiet pride of a miner's life. Morning deepens below, the mine's rhythm a steady pulse, the clink of picks a distant lullaby. The world of smoky villages and green hills fades, replaced by the damp stone, the flickering lamps. the quiet courage of men like John. His story, woven with dust and sweat, is a testament to the miner's spirit, a legacy etched in England's heart. As you drift towards sleep, let the creak of the cage carry you, the hum of the mine a soothing whisper, John's resilience a dream that wraps you in peace. The darkness of the Lancashire coal mine wraps around John Miller like a heavy cloak, its weight pressing against his skin as he kneels in a narrow seam, his oil lamp casting a faint glow on the black coal face before him. The air is thick with dust, its sharp bites stinging his eyes and coating his throat, while the distant clink of picks and the groan of carts echo through the tunnel. John's hands, rough with calluses, grip his pickaxe, its wooden handle worn smooth by years of swings, its iron head dulled by countless strikes. The mine is a world of toil, its demands relentless, its dangers ever present, yet John's steady rhythm is a testament to his endurance, a quiet defiance against the earth's unyielding grip. Welcome, dear listener, to John's labor, where simple tools, pick, shovel, and lamp, define his days, their weight a constant companion in the crushing gloom. As you rest in your cozy bed, far from the damp stone and choking air of this 1800s underworld, let your mind drift to John's work, a tale of sweat and strength that shaped a nation's heart. Let's follow him through the seam, where each swing of his pick weaves a story of resilience, a soothing lullaby to guide you gently towards sleep. John's morning has begun in the depths, the cage's creaking descent now a memory as he settles into his seam, a low tunnel barely 3 feet high, its walls glistening with damp, its floor muddy under his knees. His lamp, a battered tin can with a wick soaked in whale oil, hangs from a wooden beam above, its flame a small, wavering light that pushes back the darkness just enough to see the coal face. The lamp's glow is fragile, its flicker a reminder of the mine's dangers. Fire damp that could blaze, black damp that could choke. Yet it's his lifeline, its warmth a faint comfort against the cold stone. John adjusts the wick, his fingers steady, the oil's faint fishy smell mingling with the musty air, a scent as familiar as the village's smoky hearths above. He breathes shallowly, the dust a constant irritation, his eyes squinting against the haze that swirls in the lamp's light. Each breath a quiet act of endurance. His pickaxe rests beside him, its handle polished by years of grip, its head scarred from striking coal, a tool as much a part of him as his own hands. John lifts it, feeling its weight settle into his palms, the wood cool and smooth, the iron heavy with purpose. He swings, the blade biting into the coal face, a sharp crack echoing in the tight seam, the sound swallowed by the tunnel's depths. Each strike sends a jolt through his arms, his shoulders tightening, his muscles burning under the strain. But he swings again, the rhythm steady, a pulse that matches the mine's heartbeat. The coal chips away, small chunks falling to the floor, their edges sharp, their weight a promise of wages to feed his family. Mary, his wife, with her gentle smile, and Thomas, his son, already toiling in a distant tunnel, the shovel, its blade, worn and dented, waits nearby, its handle rough from years of use, its iron stained with coal dust. John pauses, wiping sweat from his brow, his sleeve coarse against his skin, the dust clinging to his face like a second skin. He scoops the fallen coal, the shovel scraping against the muddy floor, its weight heavy as he loads the cart behind him, an iron frame on rickety wheels that groan under the load. The cart is small, designed for narrow tunnels, its sides scarred by years of hauling, its wheels squeaking with every push. John's movements are deliberate, his body bent low to avoid the roof, his knees aching from the cold, uneven ground. The dust rises with each scoop, a choking cloud that settles in his lungs. His cough, a soft echo of the mine's toll. Yet he works on, his hands steady, his heart anchored by the thought of home. The seam is a confined world, its walls closing. In, the air warm and heavy, the silence broken only by the clink of his pick, the scrape of his shovel, and the occasional creak of the timbers holding back the earth. John's lamp sways slightly, its flame wavering as air moves through the seam. A faint breeze from the ventilation shaft that keeps the gas at bay. He watches the flame, its behavior a silent language he's learned to read. Steady for safety, a blue cap for fire damp, a dimming flicker for black damp. The mine is a living thing, its dangers woven into its air, its walls, its shadows. But John knows its ways, his instincts honed by years below. His survival a dance with the earth's whims. The historical context of John's tools lies in the heart of the Industrial Revolution, when coal was the fuel of progress, powering England's factories, railways, and homes. In the 1800s, Lancashire collieries were hives of activity, their miners using tools little changed for centuries, pickaxes, shovels, and oil lamps or early Davy lamps. Introduced in 1815 to combat gas explosions, the pickaxe, a simple iron head, on a wooden handle, was the miner's primary tool. Its design unchanged since medieval times, its weight a constant test of strength. Shovels, often hand-forged, were used to load coal into carts or corvees, wicker baskets in earlier mines, their blades dulled by endless scraping. The Davy lamp, with its gauze to trap flames, was a leap forward, but its light was dim, its protection imperfect in poorly ventilated seams. These tools, crude yet vital, were the backbone of a miner's life. Their simplicity a stark contrast to the era's technological advances above ground. John's work is slow, each swing of the picker measured, effort, each scoop of the shovel a step toward his quota. The coal face yields grudgingly, its surface hard, its depth a challenge that tests his endurance. He works alone in this seam, though Tom's pick echoes nearby, a faint reassurance in the dark. The tunnel is low, forcing John to kneel or crouch, his back aching, his knees bruised against the muddy floor. The dust is relentless, coating his hands, his face, his clothes. A grey film that marks him as a miner, a badge of his trade. His lamp's flame burns low, its oil dwindling, and he pauses to refill it. The small flask at his belt heavy with whale oil, its pour a careful ritual to keep the light alive. The air grows warmer, the seam's heat rising, a contrast to the cold damp of the gallery, his shirt clinging to his back, sweat mixing with dust. The mine's rhythm is unyielding, its demands shaping John's every move. He swings his pick, the blade biting deeper, the coal falling in larger chunks, each one a small triumph. He scoops them into the cart, the shovels scrape a steady beat, the cart's weight growing with each load. The tunnel's walls seem too close in, the roof low, the air thick. But John's focus is on the coal, his hands moving with a precision born of habit. His thoughts drift to Mary, kneading dough in their small kitchen, her hands floured, her voice humming a tune he's heard 100 times. He thinks of Thomas, pushing a cart in a lower tunnel, his small frame bent under the load, his childhood, sacrificed to the mine's hunger. The thought tightens John's chest, but he pushes it aside, his pick raised again, his swings a quiet vow to keep his family fed. The mine's dangers are a constant shadow, their presence felt in every breath. Every flicker of the lamp, fire damp lurks in pockets, its threat invisible until a spark ignites it. A risk John checks with his lamp's flame, watching for the blue cap that signals danger. Black damp pools in low seams, its silent weight stealing breath, a menace that demands vigilance. The roof above creaks, its timbers strained by the earth's pressure, a reminder of the collapses that have claimed mates. Men whose names are spoken softly in the village pub, their absence a wound that never heals. John scans the roof, his eyes tracing the beams, his ears tuned to their groans, the mine's warnings as subtle as a whisper. He works carefully, his movements deliberate, his survival a balance of skill and luck. The seam's air grows heavier, the dust thicker, the lamp's light dimming as the oil burns low. John pauses, his breath ragged, his hands aching. The pick's weight heavier now, the shovel's handle rough against his palms. He sips from a tin flask of water, its taste metallic, its coolness, a brief relief against the heat. The cart is nearly full, its load a testament to his morning's work. But the quota looms, a number set by Mr. Hargreaves, a demand that drives every swing, every scoop. John's muscles scream, his back bent, his knees bruised, but he works. On, his lamp a steady glow, his heart a quiet fire that burns through the pain. The mine tests him, its darkness a weight on his soul, but his tools, pick, shovel, lamp, are his allies. Their familiarity a comfort in this unforgiving world. The miner's tools, though simple, are a lifeline, their design honed by necessity. The pickaxe, with its pointed head, is used to break coal from the face. It swings a test of strength and precision. The shovel, broad and heavy, moves the coal to carts, its blade worn by endless loads, its handle a map of a miner's grip. The lamp, whether a basic oil wick or a Davy lamp, is both light and warning. Its flame a guide in the dark, its behavior a signal of gas. In the 1800s, these tools were a miner's world, their weight a constant, their use a rhythm that defined the day. Reports from the time, like the 1842 Children's Employment Commission, describe miners working with these tools in seams as low as 2 feet, their bodies contorted, their lungs scarred by dust. The tools were crude, their maintenance a miner's task, sharpening blades or trimming wicks, a daily ritual in a life of toil. John's seam is one of many, each worked by men like him, their picks and shovels, a chorus of labor that echoes through the mine. Tom's pick clinks nearby, his cough a steady undercurrent, a reminder of the dust's toll. John shares a glance. With him, their lamps casting fleeting shadows, their bond a quiet strength in the dark. The overseer's voice echoes from the gallery, sharp and demanding, urging faster work, higher quotas. John ignores it, his focus on the coal face, his swings steady, his shovel scraping in time. The cart fills slowly, its wheels groaning as he pushes it toward the main gallery, the effort a strain on his arms, his back, his breath. The tunnel's walls press close, the roof low, the air heavy, but John's tools keep him moving. Their rhythm a lifeline in the crushing gloom. The mine's layout is a labyrinth, its galleries branching into narrow seams, some so tight that miners crawl, their lamps scraping the roof, their knees bloodied by stone. Ventilation shafts, driven by furnaces at the surface, push air through the tunnels, but it's often stale, thick with dust and gas. a constant threat to men like John. The timbers creak, they would warped by damp, their strength a fragile barrier against the earth's weight. John knows the mine's dangers, explosions that shook villages, collapses that buried mates, floods that turned tunnels to graves. But he pushes the fear down, his pick raised, his lamp steady, his heart fixed on the day's end when he'll rise to the surface, to Mary's warmth, to Thomas's voice. The morning stretches on, the seam's heat rising, the dust a choking veil that clings to John's skin, his clothes, his lungs. His lamp burns low, its flame a faint glow, the oils scent sharp in the heavy air. He refills it, his fingers careful, the flask's weight a reminder of the hours ahead. The coal face yields slowly, each chunk a hard-won prize, each load a step toward the quota that means bread on the table. John's muscles ache, his hands blistered, his back bent under the low roof, but he works on his tools, an extension of his will, his labor a quiet defiance of the mine's grip. The clink of his pick, the scrape of his shovel, they are the sounds of his life. A rhythm that carries him through the darkness. The historical record of mining tools reveals their simplicity and danger. The pickaxe, often hand-forged, was a miner's primary weapon against the coal face. Its iron head prone to dulling, its handle splintering under strain. Shovels, heavy and broad, were used to load coal into carts. Their blades worn thin by constant use, their handles a source of blisters. The Davy lamp, a marvel of its time, saved lives by reducing explosions. But its dim, light-strained eyes, its gauze clogged with dust in poorly ventilated mines. Miners like John maintained their tools themselves, sharpening blades by lantern, light trimming wicks to save oil, their care a small act of control in a world of uncertainty. The 1840s saw early reforms, with laws limiting women and young children's work. But men like John faced the same tools, the same dangers, their lives unchanged by distant policies. John's work is a solitary dance, his tools the partners in this endless waltz. The pick bites deeper, the coal falling in larger chunks, the cart's weight growing with each scoop. He pauses, his breath ragged, his hands trembling, the dust a constant sting in his eyes. He sips water from his flask, its coolness a fleeting relief, its metallic taste a reminder of the mine's harshness. The lamp above sways, its flame steady but low, the air shifting with a faint breeze from the ventilation shaft, a lifeline that keeps the gas at bay. John's thoughts drift to Mary, her hands floured from baking, her voice a soft hum in their small cottage. He thinks of Thomas, pushing a cart in a lower seam, his small frame bent, his childhood lost to the mine's hunger. The thought is a pang in his heart, but he raises his pick, his swings a vow to keep them safe. The seam's walls are a canvas of labor, their surface scarred by countless picks, their dampness a constant chill against John's skin. The timbers creak, their sound a warning, their strength a fragile promise against the earth's weight. John scans the roof, his eyes tracing the beams, his ears tuned to their groans. The mine's dangers a shadow that never leaves. He works carefully, his movements precise, his survival a balance of skill and instinct. The coal face yields, the cart fills, the quota looms. But John's tools keep him moving, their rhythm a steady pulse in the dark. His lamp burns on its flame a small defiance, its light a guide through the crushing gloom, a reminder of the surface of home, of hope. The morning deepens. The mine's rhythm a relentless beat, the clink of picks a distant lullaby. The world of smoky villages and green hills fades, replaced by the damp stone, the choking dust, the flickering lamps. John's story, woven with sweat and toil, is a testament to the miner spirit, a legacy etched in England's heart. As you drift towards sleep, let the clink of the pick carry you. The hum of the mine, a soothing whisper. John's resilience, a dream that wraps you in peace. The air in the Lancashire coal mine is thick and warm, heavy with the sharp sting of coal dust that swirls in the dim glow of John Miller's oil lamp. The narrow seam where he kneels echoes with the steady clink of his pickaxe, its rhythm of heartbeats in the crushing darkness of this 1800s underworld. Beyond the low tunnel, in a deeper gallery, his son, Thomas, barely 10 years old, pushes a heavy cart. His small frame bent under the load, his childhood swallowed by the mine's unyielding hunger. The distant creak of cartwheels and the soft coughs of other children pierce the silence, a haunting reminder of the young lives bound to this dark world. John's heart aches, his swings faltering as he thinks of Thomas, his boy toiling in the gloom, yet his hands keep moving, driven by the need to feed his family. Welcome, dear listener, to the world of the mine's children, where small hands carry heavy burdens, their resilience a faint light in the shadows. As you rest in your cozy bed, far from the cold stone and choking air, let your mind drift. Thomas's labor, a tale of sacrifice and strength that weaves through the mine's depths. Let's follow him through the tunnels, where the clatter of carts tells a story of endurance, a soothing lullaby to guide you gently toward sleep. John pauses, his pickaxe resting against the coal face, its handle slick with sweat, his lamp casting a wavering glow on the black wall before him. The seam is tight, its roof so low he kneels, his knees bruised against the muddy floor. The air thick with dust that coats his throat. His thoughts are with Thomas, who works in a lower gallery, pushing carts through tunnels even narrower than this one. The boy's small hands, already marked by coal, grip the cart's iron frame, his shoulders straining, his breath quick in the stifling air. John's chest tightens, a pang of guilt for bringing his son into this life. But the mine is there. Only path, its wages, the thin thread that keeps their family, John, Mary, and Thomas, from the workhouse's grim embrace. He swings his pick again, the crack of iron on coal a sharp echo, a vow to keep his boy safe, to see him rise to the surface at day's end. Thomas, in the lower gallery, moves through a tunnel barely 2 feet high, his lamp hooked to his belt. Its flame, a faint spark against the darkness. His cart, a small wooden corvée on iron wheels, is laden with coal, its weight a crushing burden for his young frame. The tunnel's floor is slick with water, its walls damp and cold, the air heavy with the sour temps of coal dust and the faint, acrid scent of gas. Thomas pushes, his hands raw, his back bent, his knees scraping against the stone. Each step a struggle against the cart's resistance. The wheels creak, their squeak a steady rhythm in the quiet, broken only by the coughs of other children working nearby, their small figures darting through the shadows, their lamps bobbing like fireflies in the gloom that the children of the mine are a silent army, their labor vital to the colliery's output, their lives shaped by the earth's demands. Boys and girls, some as young as 6, crawl through seams too tight for adults, their bodies contorted, their hands pulling coal or opening ventilation doors. Thomas is a trapper turned hurrier, a boy who once sat by a trapdoor, opening it for carts, now tasked with pushing them to the main gallery. His job is grueling, the cart's weight a constant strain, its path uneven, strewn with loose coal and puddles that soak his thin boots. His lamp, a tiny oil wick, flickers with each push, its light dim, its flame a fragile guard against the gas that lurks in the air. He coughs, the dust settling in his lungs, his small chest heaving, but he keeps moving. His thoughts on the bread and broth waiting at home, on his mother Mary's warm voice, on his father John's steady hand. The tunnel Thomas works is a maze of low passages, its roof propped by wooden beams that creak under the earth's weight, their sound a constant warning. The air is stale, the ventilation shafts struggling to clear the dust and gas, the heat rising as the morning deepens. Thomas's lamp sways, its flame wavering, and he pauses to adjust the wick, his fingers trembling. The oil's fishy smell sharp in the heavy air. He knows the mine's dangers, stories of explosions that shook the village, of children trapped by falling rock, their names whispered in the cottages above. Yet he pushes on, his small hands gripping the cart, his steps slow but steady, his heart a quiet spark of courage, a reflection of his father's resolve. John, in his seam, feels the weight of Thomas's labor, each swing of his pick a prayer for his son's safety. The coal face yields slowly, its black surface hard, its chunks falling with a dull thud to the muddy floor. He scoops them with his shovel, the blade scraping, the cart behind him filling, its wheels groaning under the load. The dust rises, a choking haze that stings his eyes, his breath shallow to avoid the worst of it. His lamp burns low, its flame a steady glow, its light a small defiance against the crushing darkness. He thinks of Thomas, imagines his boy's small figure in the lower tunnels, his lamp a faint star in the gloom, his cough a soft echo of the mine's toll. John's heart aches, but he works on his tools, a rhythm that carries him through the pain. His love for his family, a fire that burns through the dark dot in the lower gallery. Thomas pushes his cart toward a junction where other children work, their voices hushed, their lamps casting fleeting shadows. A girl named Annie, no older than 8, pulls a corvée with a leather strap around her waist. Her hands raw, her face smudged with coal dust. She nods to Thomas, her eyes tired but kind, a silent bond between them, two children bound by the mines. Hunger, another boy, Sam, sits by a trapdoor, his job to open it for carts, his small frame curled against the cold wall, his lamp's flame flickering in the draught. The children speak little, their words forbidden by the overseer's rules. But their glances are a language of shared hardship, their small acts, passing a sip of water, steadying a cart. A quiet defiance against the mine's cruelty. The overseer, Mr. Hargreaves, patrols the galleries, his boots echoing, his voice sharp as he barks orders, his whip a threat that keeps the children moving. His lantern casts a harsh light, its beams sweeping over the tunnels, searching for idleness or error. Thomas shrinks as Hargreaves passes, his heart racing, his hands tightening on the cart, its wheels creaking louder under the overseer's gaze. The man's presence is a weight, his rules a chain: work fast, stay silent, meet the quota or face a cut in wages, a day without food. Thomas pushes harder, his shoulders burning, his knees scraped raw, the cart's weight a constant pull, but he keeps moving, his lamp a small guide, his thoughts on his father's pride, his mother's warmth. The historical context of child labor in 1800s mines is a grim chapter of the Industrial Revolution, laid bare by reports like the 1842 Children's Employment Commission. Children as young as 5 worked in Britain's collieries, their small bodies suited to narrow seams, their labor cheap and expendable. trappers sat alone in the dark, opening ventilation doors, their hours stretching 10 to 12 hours for pennies. Hurriers, like Thomas, pushed or pulled carts, their straps cutting into skin, their bodies bruised by low roofs. Girls, like Annie, worked alongside boys, their tasks no less grueling, their childhoods stolen by the mine's demands. Accidents were common, crushes, explosions, drownings, with thousands of children injured or killed yearly. The Commission's reports, filled with testimonies of hunger and exhaustion, sparked outrage, leading to the Mines Act of 1842, which banned children under 10 and women from underground work. Though enforcement was weak, and boys like Thomas continued to toil. Thomas's cart reaches the main gallery, its wheels grinding to a stop, the coal unloaded by older boys who heap it for the cage. He pauses, his breath ragged, his hands trembling, the dust coating his face, his eyes watering in the haze. He sips from a small flask, the water warm and metallic, its taste a faint relief against the heat. His lamp flickers, its oil low, and he adjusts the wick, his fingers careful, the flame a delicate balance in a mine where gas could spark disaster. The gallery is wider here, its roof higher, but the air is still heavy, the dust a constant sting, the distant clatter of pickaxes, reminder of the work that never ends. Thomas's small frame aches, his shoulders sore, his knees bloodied, but he turns back to the seam, another cart waiting, another load to push, his heart a quiet spark of endurance. John, in his seam, hears the faint creak of carts, his thoughts on Thomas, his boy's labor a mirror of his own. He swings his pick, the coal falling, the shovel scraping, the cart filling. But his mind is with his son, imagining his small hands, his tired eyes. The dust rises, his cough a soft echo, his lamp's flame wavering as air shifts through the tunnel. He pauses, wiping sweat from his brow, his sleeve coarse, his hands blistered, the pick's weight heavier now. The mine tests him, its darkness a weight on his soul, but his love for Thomas, for Mary, is a fire that burns through the pain he works on, his tools a rhythm, his heart a vow to see his boy safe, to rise together at day's end. The children's work is a cycle of toil, their carts a lifeline for the mine's output, their labor a hidden engine of England's progress. Thomas pushes another corvée, its wheels squeaking, its load heavier, the tunnel's walls pressing. Close, the roof low, the air thick. Annie crawls nearby, her strap pulling, her lamp's light dim, her cough a soft echo of Thomas's. Sam, at his trapdoor, shifts to ease his cramped legs, his eyes fixed on the dark, his lamp a faint glow. The overseer's boots echo again, his voice sharp, but the children keep moving, their small acts of care, sharing water, whispering encouragement, a quiet rebellion against his rules. Their bond is unspoken, their glance is a language of survival, their resilience a light in the mine's crushing gloom. The mine's dangers are ever present, their threat woven into every moment. Fire damp lurks in pockets, its risk a blue cap on Thomas's lamp, a warning he's learned from his father. Black damp pools in low seams, its silent weight a menace to small lungs. The roof creaks, its timbers strained, its collapse a fear that haunts every child. Thomas knows the stories, children trapped, their lamps snuffed out, their names whispered in the village with grief. Yet he pushes his cart, his hands steady, his lamp a guide, his heart fixed on the surface, on his mother's voice, his father's hand. The mine is a thief, stealing his childhood, but his spirit holds firm. a spark of courage that mirrors John's, a legacy of endurance passed from father to son. The historical record paints a stark picture of child labor's toll. The 1842 Commission found children working up to 14 hours, their bodies stunted, their lungs scarred by dust, their lives at risk from gas and collapses. Girls like Annie faced the same dangers, their wages lower, their tasks no less brutal. The Mines Act was a step toward reform, but its rules were often ignored, with children like Thomas working on their labor vital to families on the edge of poverty. The mines powered Britain's factories, its railways, its wealth, but at a cost borne by its youngest workers, their sacrifice a hidden foundation of the era's progress. Thomas's cart reaches the gallery again, his breath labored, his hands raw, his lamps flame low. He pauses, sipping water, adjusting his wick, the oils scent sharp in the heavy air. The overseer's shadow looms, his voice a bark, but Thomas keeps moving, his cart creaking, his heart steady. John, in his seam, swings his pick, the coal falling, his thoughts on his son, his labor a vow to keep him safe. The mine's rhythm is relentless, its dust a choking veil, its darkness a weight on their souls. But father and son endure, their bond a quiet strength, their resilience a light in the gloom. The morning deepens, the mine's pulse a steady beat, the creak of carts a distant lullaby. The world of smoky villages fades, replaced by the damp stone, the choking dust, the dim lamplight. John and Thomas's story, woven with toil and sacrifice, is a testament to the miner's spirit, a legacy etched in England's heart. As you drift toward sleep, let the creak of the cart carry you. The hum of the mine a soothing whisper, their resilience a dream that wraps you in peace. The air in the Lancashire coal mine hangs heavy, thick with coal dust that swirls in the dim flicker of John Miller's oil lamp. Its flame a fragile spark against the crushing darkness of this 1800s underworld. The narrow seam where John kneels hums with the clink of his pickaxe, its rhythm a steady pulse, but his eyes dart to the lamp, watching for signs of danger in its glow. Somewhere in a lower gallery, his son Thomas, a boy of 10, pushes a coal cart, his small lamp swaying, his breath quick in the stifling air laced with invisible threats. The mine is a world of peril, its gases, fire damp that could blaze, black damp that could choke, lurking in every shadow, a silent menace that haunts every miner's heart. John's chest tightens, his thoughts on Thomas, but his hands keep swinging, his vigilance a shield against the breath of death. Welcome, dear listener, to the mine's deadly embrace, where each breath is a gamble, each flicker of light a hope. As you rest in your cozy bed, far from the damp stone and poisoned air, let your mind drift to John and Thomas's watchfulness, a tale of survival woven with quiet courage. Let's follow them through the tunnels where danger whispers in the dark, a soothing lullaby to guide you gently toward sleep. John kneels in his seam, the low roof forcing his back to bend, his knees pressed into the muddy floor, the coal face gleaming black under his lamp's faint light. The air is warm and damp, its weight pressing against his skin, the dust a constant sting in his eyes and throat. His pickaxe bites into the coal, each swing a jolt through his arms, each crack a small victory, but his focus is split, his gaze flicking to the lamp hanging from a beam above. The flame burns steady, its glow a soft circle in the gloom, but John knows its secrets, how it can flare with a blue cap to warn of fire damp, or dim in the presence of black damp, gases that could steal life in a moment. He breathes shallowly, the air sharp with the sour temps of coal and the faint, acrid hint of something else. A trace of danger that keeps his heart alert. The mine is a living beast, its dangers woven into its very breath. Fire damp, a mix of methane, and air gathers in pockets, invisible until a spark, perhaps from a pick striking flint, sets it ablaze, turning tunnels into furnaces. Black damp, a heavy blend of carbon dioxide and nitrogen, pools in low seams, its silent weight suffocating those who linger too long. John's lamp, a simple oil wick with a tin shield, is his only guard, its flame a delicate balance between light and warning. He adjusts the wick, his fingers steady despite the cold. The oil's fishy smell sharp in the heavy air, a ritual that steadies his nerves. The lamp's glow is dim, its light barely reaching the tunnel's walls. But it's enough to guide his work, enough to watch for death's quiet approach. In the lower gallery, Thomas pushes his cart, its wheels creaking, its load of coal a heavy burden for his small frame. The tunnel is narrower here, its roof barely 2 feet high, forcing him to crawl, his knees scraped raw, his hands raw from gripping the cart's iron frame. His lamp, hooked to his belt, sways with each push, its flame flickering, its light a faint star in the crushing darkness. The air is thicker, the dust choking, the heat rising as the morning deepens. Thomas coughs, his small chest heaving, the dust settling in his lungs, but he keeps moving, his eyes fixed on the lamp, his father's lessons echoing in his mind. Watch the flame, stay low, move fast if it flares. He knows the mine's dangers, stories of explosions that shook the village, of boys lost to gas, their names whispered in sorrow by the cottages above. John's thoughts are with Thomas, his heart a knot of worry, his swings faltering as he imagines. His boy in the lower tunnels, his lamp a fragile shield against the mine's breath. He pauses, wiping sweat from his brow, his sleeve coarse, the dust clinging to his face like a mask. The coal face yields slowly, his shovel scraping chunks into the cart, its wheels groaning under the load. But his mind is on the air, on the lamp, on the creak of timbers overhead. The roof is propped by wooden beams, their wood warped by damp. Their groans a warning of the earth's weight, a collapse that could bury him in moments. He scans the beams, his eyes tracing their cracks, his ears tuned to their sounds. The mine's dangers a shadow that never fades. The tunnel's air shifts. A faint breeze from the ventilation shaft, a lifeline driven by furnaces at the surface. But it's weak, the air still heavy with dust and gas. John watches his lamp, its flame steady but low, its glow wavering as the breeze passes. He knows the ventilation's limits, how it struggles to clear the deepest seams, how gas can pool in corners, waiting for a spark. He's seen the aftermath of explosions, tunnels charred, mates burned or crushed, their lamps snuffed out. Their lives a price for the coal that fuels England's factories. He pushes the fear down, his pick raised again, his swings a rhythm that carries him through the dread. His love for Thomas and Mary a fire that burns brighter than the mine's threats. Thomas, in his tunnel, feels the air grow heavier, the dust thicker, his lamp's flame dimming slightly, a sign that makes his heart race. He pauses, his hands trembling, his breath quick, the cart's weight forgotten as he watches the flame. His father's voice echoes, "Stay low, move to fresher air, don't spark the pick." He crawls forward, his lamp swaying, its light faint. The tunnel's walls pressing close, the roof low, the air stifling. The creak of a timber startles him, its sound sharp in the quiet. a reminder of the mind's power, its ability to claim lives without warning. Thomas's small frame shakes, but he keeps moving, his eyes on the lamp. His heart a spark of courage, a legacy of his father's strength. The overseer, Mr. Hargreaves, patrols the galleries, his boots echoing, his lantern casting a harsh light that sweeps over the tunnels. His voice is sharp, barking orders to work faster, to clear the seams. His whip a threat that keeps men and children moving. He passes John's seam, his lantern's beam glinting off the coal face, his eyes narrowing as he checks the carts. Load. John keeps working, his pick steady, his lamp watched. The overseer's presence, a weight that adds to the mind's dangers. Hargreaves moves on, his footsteps fading, but his rules linger. No pauses, no errors. Meet the quota or face a cut in wages, a day without bread. John's heart steadies, his focus on the coal, the lamp, the air. His survival a balance of vigilance and toil in the lower gallery. Thomas pushes his cart toward a junction. His lamp's flame steady again. The air slightly fresher, a relief that eases his chest. He passes Annie, a girl of 8, pulling a corvée with a leather strap, her hands raw, her face smudged with dust, her lamp's light dim. She coughs, her small frame shaking, but she nods to Thomas, their eyes meeting, a silent bond of shared hardship. Sam, a boy at a trapdoor, shifts to ease his cramped legs, his lamp flickering in the draught, his job to open the door for carts, his solitude a weight in the dark. The children work in silence, their voices forbidden, but their glances are a language of care, their small acts sharing a sip of water, steadying a cart, a quiet defiance against the mind's cruelty. The historical context of the mine's gases is a grim tale of the Industrial Revolution, detailed in reports like the 1842 Children's Employment Commission. Fire damp, or methane, was a constant threat, igniting with sparks from picks or faulty lamps, causing explosions that killed hundreds yearly, over 1,500 in the 1840s alone. Black damp, a suffocating mix of gases, claimed lives silently, pooling. In poorly ventilated seams, its victims found slumped, their lamps dim. The Davy lamp, introduced in 1815, was a marvel, its gauze trapping flames. But it was imperfect, its light dim, its gauze prone to clogging. Ventilation systems, reliant on furnaces or early fans, were often inadequate, leaving miners like John and children like Thomas to breathe air thick with danger. The mines were death traps, their gases a hidden killer, their toll a price for Britain's coal-driven progress. John's scene grows warmer, the dust thicker, the air heavier, his lamp's flame wavering as a faint breeze passes. He pauses, his breath ragged, his hands aching. The pick's weight heavier now, the shovel's handle rough against his palms. He sips from his flask, the water metallic, its coolness a brief relief against the heat. The coal face yields, cart fills, but the air is his focus, the lamp his guide, the timbers his watch. He knows men lost to gas, mates burned in blasts, others choked in low seams. Their names spoken softly in the village pub, their absence a wound. He checks his lamp, its flame steady, its glow a small defiance, his survival a dance with the mind's breath. Thomas reaches the main gallery, his cart unloaded, his breath labored, his hands raw, his lamp's flame low. He pauses, sipping water, adjusting his wick, the oils scent sharp in the heavy air. The overseer's shadow looms, his voice a bark, but Thomas keeps moving, his cart creaking, his heart steady. Annie crawls nearby, her strap pulling, her cough a soft echo, her lamp dim. Sam, at his trapdoor, shifts, his eyes fixed on the dark, his lamp a faint glow. The children's work is a cycle, their cart's a lifeline, their labor a hidden engine of progress, but the air is their enemy. Its gases a whisper of death. John swings his pick, the coal falling, his shovel scraping. His thoughts on Thomas, his boy's lamp a star in the lower tunnels. The dust rises, his cough a soft echo, his lamp's flame wavering, the air shifting, the timbers creaking. He pauses, scanning the roof, watching the lamp, breathing shallowly, his heart a fire that burns through fear. The mind tests him, its gases a shadow, its darkness a weight. But his love for his family is his shield, his vigilance his sword. He works on, his tools a rhythm, his lamp a guide, his resolve a light in the gloom. The morning deepens, the mind's pulse a relentless beat, the clink of picks a distant lullaby. The world of smoky villages fades, replaced by the damp stone, the poisoned air, the flickering lamps. John and Thomas's story, woven with vigilance and toil, is a testament to the miner's spirit, a legacy etched in England's heart. As you drift towards sleep, let the flicker of the lamp carry you. The hum of the mine a soothing whisper, their courage a dream that wraps you in peace. The Lancashire coal mine hums with the relentless rhythm of labour. Its narrow tunnels thick with coal dust that swirls in the faint glow of John Miller's oil lamp. Its flame a fragile spark in the crushing darkness of this 1800s underworld. John kneels in his seam, his pickaxe biting into the coal face, each swing a jolt through his aching arms, each crack a small step toward his quota. In a lower gallery, his son Thomas, barely 10, pushes a heavy cart, his small hands raw, his breath quick in the stifling air, his young body bent under the mine's unyielding demands. The day stretches on, hours blending in the heat and gloom. The clink of picks and creak of carts a constant chorus, the mine a cage of toil that tests their endurance. John's heart beats steady, his thoughts on Thomas, on their home, on the hope of rising to the surface at day's end. Welcome, dear listener, to a miner's day, where sweat and sacrifice fuel a nation's progress, where resilience shines in the shadows. As you rest in your cozy bed, far from the damp stone and choking air, let your mind drift to John and Thomas's labor, a tale of strength woven through the mine's depths. Let's follow them through the hours where toil shapes their lives, a soothing lullaby to guide you gently towards sleep. John's morning is well underway, the descent in the rattling cage a distant memory, his seam now a world of its own, its low roof forcing him to kneel, his knees bruised against the muddy floor. The air is warm and heavy, laced with the sharp sting of coal dust that coats his throat, stings his eyes, and clings to his sweat-soaked shirt. His lamp hangs from a beam, its flame steady but dim, its glow a small circle in the vast dark. A lifeline, he watches for signs of gas. Fire damps, blue cap, black damps, dimming flicker. The coal face looms, its black surface hard, its depth a challenge that demands his every swing. He grips his pickaxe, its handle worn smooth, its iron head dulled by countless strikes, and swings, the blade biting into the coal. A sharp crack, echoing in the tight seam, swallowed by the tunnel's depths. Each swing is a test, his muscles burning, his shoulders tight, his back aching under the low roof's pressure. The coal chips away, small chunks falling to the floor, their edges sharp, their weight a promise of wages to feed his family. Mary with her warm smile, and Thomas toiling below. John pauses, wiping sweat from his brow, his sleeve coarse, the dust a grey film on his face, his breath ragged in the stifling air. His shovel, its blade dented, scrapes the coal into the cart behind him, its iron frame groaning under the load, its wheels squeaking with each push toward the main gallery. The dust rises, a choking haze, his cough a soft echo of the mine's toll. But he works on, his hands steady, his heart anchored by thoughts of home, of Mary's voice, of Thomas's eager eyes. In the lower gallery, Thomas pushes his cart through. A tunnel so low he crawls, his knees scraped raw, his hands blistered from gripping the corvée's iron frame. The cart is heavy, its wooden sides scarred, its wheels grinding against the uneven floor, strewn with loose coal and slick with water. His lamp, hooked to his belt, sways with each push, its flame flickering, its light a faint star in the crushing gloom. The air is thicker here, the dust choking, the heat rising, his small chest heaving, his cough a mirror of his father's. Thomas's body aches, his shoulders sore, his back bent, but he keeps moving, his eyes on the lamp, his thoughts on the bread and broth waiting at home, on his father's proud nod, on his mother's gentle touch. The mine's rhythm is unyielding, its demands shaping every moment. John swings his pick, the coal falling, his shovel scraping, the cart filling, the quota looming, a number set by the overseer, Mr. Hargreaves, a demand that drives each swing, each load. The seam is tight, its walls damp and cold, the roof propped by timbers that creak under the earth's weight, their groans a constant warning. John scans the beams, his ears tuned to their sounds, his lamp watched for gas, his survival a balance of toil and vigilance. The air shifts, a faint breeze from the ventilation shaft, but it's weak. The dust and heat a constant weight, the mine a living thing that tests his endurance with every breath. Thomas's tunnel is a maze of low passages, its floor slick, its walls pressing close, the air heavy with the sour tang of coal and the faint acrid hint of gas. He pushes his cart toward a junction, his lamp's flame wavering, his hands trembling, his breath quick in the stifling heat. Annie, a girl of 8, pulls a corvée nearby, her leather strap cutting into her waist, her face smudged with dust, her cough a soft echo. Sam, at a trapdoor, shifts to ease his cramped legs, his lamp flickering in the draft, his job to open the door for carts, his solitude a weight in the dark. The children work in silence, their voices forbidden, but their glances are a bond. Their small acts, sharing a sip of water, steadying a cart, a quiet defiance against the mine's rules. The overseer's boots echo through the galleries, his voice sharp, his lantern's harsh light sweeping over the tunnels. Hargreaves passes John's seam, his eyes narrowing at the cart's load, his bark urging faster work, his whip a threat that lingers. John keeps swinging, his pick steady, his shovel scraping, the overseer's presence a weight that adds to the mine's demands. In the lower gallery, Thomas shrinks as Hargreaves approaches, his heart racing, his hands tightening on the cart, its wheels creaking louder under the overseer's gaze. The man moves on, his footsteps fading, but his rules remain: no pauses, no errors, meet the quota or face a cut in wages, a day without food. Thomas pushes harder, his shoulders burning, his knees bloodied, his lamp a guide, his heart fixed on his father's strength. The historical context of a miner's workday in the 1800s is a tale of grueling endurance, documented in reports like the 1842 Children's Employment Commission. Miners, like John, worked 10 to 12 hours, their shifts starting before dawn, their bodies bent in low seams, their lungs scarred by dust. Children like Thomas faced the same hours, their small frames pushing carts or crawling through tight passages, their childhoods sacrificed to the mine's hunger. Wages were meager, often paid in tokens redeemable only at company stores, trapping families in debt. Accidents, explosions, collapses, drownings killed thousands yearly, with over 1,500 deaths in the 1840s alone. The workday offered little respite, with brief pauses for bread and water. The quota, a relentless drive that left miners exhausted. There lives a hidden engine of Britain's coal-driven progress. John's seam grows warmer, the dust thicker, the air heavier, his lamp's flame steady but low, its oil dwindling. He pauses, sipping from his flask, the water metallic, its coolness a fleeting relief against the heat. His muscles scream, his hands blistered, his back bent, but he swings his pick. The coal falling, his shovel scraping, the cart filling. Timbers creak, their sound a warning, his eyes scanning the roof, his ears tuned to the mine's whispers. He thinks of Thomas, imagines his boy's small figure in the lower tunnels, his lamp a faint star, his cough a soft echo of the dusts. Toll. John's heart aches, but he works on, his tools a rhythm, his love for his family a fire that burns through the pain. Thomas reaches the main gallery, his cart unloaded by older boys, his breath labored, his hands raw, his lamps flame low. He pauses, sipping water, adjusting his wick, the oils sent sharp in the heavy air. The gallery is wider, its roof higher, but the air is still thick, the dust a sting. The clatter of picks, a reminder of the work that never ends. Annie crawls nearby, her strap pulling, her lamp dim, her cough a soft echo. Sam, at his trapdoor, shifts, his eyes fixed on the dark, his lamp a faint glow. The children's work is a cycle, their carts a lifeline, their labor a hidden pulse. But the hours weigh heavy, their bodies aching, their spirits tested by the mine's relentless grip. John's cart is nearly full, its load a testament to his morning's toil, but the quota looms, the overseer's shouts echoing from the gallery. He pushes the cart toward the main tunnel, its wheels groaning, the effort a strain on his arms, his back, his breath. The tunnel's walls press close, the roof low, the air heavy. But John keeps moving, his lamp a guide, his heart fixed on the day's end. When he'll rise with Thomas to the surface, to Mary's warmth, to their small cottage's peace. The dust rises, his cough a soft echo, his muscles burning, but his resolve holds. His labor a vow to keep his family safe, to endure the mine's cruel demands. Thomas pushes another cart, its wheels squeaking, its load heavier, the tunnel's walls closing in, the roof low, the air thick. His small frame aches, his shoulders sore, his knees bloodied. But he keeps moving, his lamp a guide, his thoughts on his father's pride, his mother's voice. The overseer's shadow looms again, his voice a bark, but Thomas pushes harder, his heart steady, his resilience a spark in the gloom. Annie's strap pulls, her cough a soft echo, her lamp dim. Sam's trapdoor creaks, his lamp flickering, his solitude a weight. The children's bond is unspoken, their glances a language of care, their small acts a quiet rebellion against the mine's rules. The day stretches on, the hours blurring in the heat and dust, the mine's rhythm a relentless beat. John swings his pick, the coal falling, his shovel scraping, his cart filling, his body a machine of endurance, his heart a fire of love. Thomas pushes his cart, his small hands steady, his lamp a guide, his spirit a mirror of his father's. The mind tests them, its darkness a weight, its dust a choke, its dangers a shadow, but they work on, their labor a testament to their strength, their bond a light in the gloom. The historical record of a miner's workday reveals its brutality. The 1842 Commission described shifts that left men and children exhausted, their bodies broken by low seams, their lungs scarred by dust. Meals were sparse, bread, water, perhaps a bit of cheese, eaten in the dark, their brief pauses a fleeting respite. Quotas drove the work, set by overseers like Hargreaves, enforced with threats of docked wages or beatings. The mines powered Britain's factories, its railways, its wealth, but at a cost borne by men like John, boys like Thomas, their lives a hidden foundation of progress, their endurance a quiet legacy etched in coal dock. The afternoon deepens, the mines pulse a steady beat, the clink of picks a distant lullaby. The world of smoky villages fades, replaced by the damp stone, the choking dust, the flickering lamps. John and Thomas's story, woven with sweat and sacrifice, is a testament to the miner's spirit, a legacy etched in England's heart. As you drift towards sleep, let the clink of the pick carry you, the creak of the cart a soothing whisper, their resilience a dream that wraps you in peace. The Lancashire coal mine pulses with the steady rhythm of toil, its tunnels cloaked in crushing darkness, the air thick with coal dust that dances in the faint glow of John Miller's oil lamp. John kneels in his narrow seam, his pickaxe clinking against the coal face, his muscles aching, his breath shallow in the stifling heat. In a lower gallery, his son Thomas, a boy of 10, pushes a heavy cart, his small hands raw, his lamp flickering, his young frame bent under the mine's relentless weight. Yet, in the gloom, a quiet strength grows, a bond among the miners and children. Forged in shared hardship, their whispered tales and small acts of care a light against the mine's cruelty. John's heart lifts as he hears Tom's cough nearby, a sign his friend is close, their camaraderie a warmth in the cold stone. Welcome, dear listener, to the miner's world, where solidarity weaves a thread of hope in the dark. As you rest in your cozy bed, far from the damp tunnels and choking air of 1800s England, let your mind drift to John and Thomas's bonds, a tale of unity that softens the mine's harsh edges. Let's follow them through the seams, where laughter and care echo, a soothing lullaby to guide you gently towards sleep. John's day is deep into its hours. The morning's descent in the creaking cage a distant memory, his seam a confined world of coal and dust. The low roof forces him to kneel, his knees bruised against the muddy floor, the air heavy with the sharp sting of coal dust that coats his throat and stings his eyes. His lamp hangs from a beam, its flame a steady glow, its light a small circle in the vast dark, watched for signs of gas, fire damp's blue cap, black damp's dimming flicker. The coal face yields slowly, his pickaxe biting into it, each swing a jolt through his arms, each chunk a step toward his quota. His shovel scrapes the coal into the cart, its wheels groaning, the dust rising in a choking haze. His cough a soft echo of the mine's toll. Yet, in this grueling labor, John is not alone. Nearby, Tom, his wiry friend with a lingering cough, works in a parallel seam, his picks clink a faint rhythm that reaches John's ears. a reminder of their bond. Tom's lamp bobs in the shadows, its light crossing John's, their glances. Meeting through the dust, a silent nod that speaks of years shared below. The mine is a harsh master, its dangers, gas, collapses, exhaustion, a constant threat. But the miners' camaraderie is a shield, their quiet support a warmth that holds. Despair at bay. John pauses, wiping sweat from his brow. His sleeve caused the dust, a grey film on his face. He hears Tom's low chuckle, a soft sound that carries through the tunnel. A tale of a village fair where Tom tripped in the mud. A memory that sparks a faint smile on John's lips. In the lower gallery, Thomas pushes his cart through a tunnel. So low he crawls, his knees scraped raw, his hands blistered, his lamp swaying with each push. Its flame a faint star in the gloom. The air is thicker here, the dust choking, the heat pressing against his small frame. His cough a mirror of his father's. Yet Thomas too finds solace in the children around him. Annie, a girl of 8, pulls a corvée nearby, her leather strap cutting into her waist, her face smudged with dust, her lamp's light dim. She catches Thomas's eye, her tired smile a flicker of warmth, a bond forged in their shared toil. Sam, at a trapdoor, shifts to ease his cramped legs, his lamp flickering in the draught. His nod to Thomas a silent promise of care, a small act that lightens the mine's weight. The miner's bond is a quiet force, woven through small gestures, sharing a sip of water, steadying a cart, whispering a tale to ease the hours. John recalls a moment from last week when Tom lent him oil for his lamp, its flame nearly spent, a kindness that saved John from working blind. He returns the favor today, passing a small flask of oil to Tom through the seam's narrow gap. Their fingers brushing, their lamps casting a shared glow. The act is simple, unnoticed by the overseer, Mr. Hargreaves, whose boots echo in the gallery, his voice sharp with demands for faster work. But to John and Tom, it's a thread of trust, a reminder that they are more than the coal they dig, more than the mine's tools. Thomas, in his tunnel, feels the bond, too. Annie pauses to share a crumb of bread, her small hand trembling. Morsel a treasure in a place of hunger. Thomas accepts it, his eyes bright with gratitude, hiding the crumb in his pocket, a secret defiance against the overseer's rules. Sam, at his trapdoor, whispers a story of a fox he saw in the village, his voice low, his words a brief escape from the dark. The children's voices are forbidden, their chatter a risk of punishment, but these moments, shared crumbs, whispered tales, are a rebellion, a spark of humanity that the mine cannot snuff out. Thomas pushes his cart, his heart lifted, his lamp a guide, his bond with Annie and Sam a warmth in the cold stone. John swings his pick, the coal falling, his shovel scraping, the cart filling, but his thoughts are with Thomas, his boy toiling below, and with Tom, whose cough echoes nearby. The seam is tight, its walls damp, the roof low, the timbers creaking under the earth's weight, their groans a warning John heeds. His lamp's flame wavers, the air shifting, a faint breeze from the ventilation shaft. But the dust is thick, the heat heavy, the mine a test of body and spirit. He pauses, sipping from his flask, the water metallic, its coolness a fleeting relief. Tom's voice reaches him, a low murmur of a song from their youth, its melody faint but familiar, a tune of green hills and free skies, a memory that softens the mind's grip. The overseer's boots echo closer, his lanterns harsh, light sweeping over the seams. his voice barking orders to meet the quota, his whip a threat that keeps men and children moving. Hargreaves passes John's seam, his eyes narrowing at the cart's load, his grunt a grudging approval before he moves on. John keeps working, his pick steady, his shovel scraping, the overseer's presence a weight that fades as Tom's song resumes its notes, a quiet defiance. In the lower gallery, Thomas shrinks as Hargreaves approaches, his heart racing, his hands tightening on the cart, its wheels creaking louder under the overseer's gaze. Annie and Sam fall silent, their eyes down, their lamps dim, but the overseer passes, his footsteps fading, their bond unbroken, their whispers ready to resume. The historical context of the miners' bond lies in the heart of the Industrial Revolution, when coal mines were communities of survival, their workers bound by shared peril and purpose. Reports like the 1842 Children's Employment Commission described miners and children working in tight-knit groups, their camaraderie a lifeline in the dark. Men like John and Tom shared tools, food, and stories, their trust vital in a world of gas and collapses. Children like Thomas, Annie, and Sam formed their own bonds, their small acts of care, sharing bread, whispering tales, a defiance of the mind's isolation. Accidents were common, with thousands dying yearly, over 1,500 in the 1840s, from explosions or roof falls, making these bonds a source of strength, a way to face the mind's breath of death together. John's seam grows warmer, the dust thicker, the air heavier, his lamp's flame steady but low, its oil dwindling. He pauses, adjusting the wick, his fingers careful, the oil's fishy smell sharp in the heavy air. His muscles ache, his hands blistered, his back bent, but he swings his pick, the coal falling, his shovel scraping, the cart filling. Tom's cough echoes, a reminder of the dust's toll, but his song continues, its melody a thread of hope. John joins in, his voice low, the tune a faint hum that carries through the seam, a moment of unity that lifts his heart. The timbers creak, their sound a warning, his eyes scanning the roof, his lamp watched, his survival a balance of toil and care. Thomas pushes his cart toward the main gallery, his breath labored, his hands raw, his lamps flame low. He pauses, sipping water, the metallic taste a faint relief, his eyes meeting Annis as she pulls her corvée nearby. She whispers a tale of a bird she saw at dawn, its wings bright against the smoky sky, her voice a soft escape from the dark. Thomas smiles, his heart lightened, his cart creaking as he pushes on. Sam's nod from the trapdoor, a quiet promise of care. The children's bond is a flicker of warmth, their small acts a rebellion against the mind's rules, their resilience a mirror of the men above. John's cart is nearly full, its load a testament to his day's toil. But the quota looms, the overseer's shouts echoing from the gallery. He pushes the cart toward the main tunnel, its wheels groaning, the effort a strain on his arms, his back, his breath. Tom's lamp bobs nearby, his cough a soft echo, his hand steadying John's cart, a small act that eases the load. The tunnels. Walls press close, the roof low, the air heavy. But their bond is a light, their shared labor a strength that carries them through. John thinks of Thomas, imagines his boy's small figure, his lamp a star, his bond with Annie and Sam a warmth. In the gloom, the miner's bond is not just practical but emotional, a way to hold onto humanity in a place that strips it away. John recalls nights in the village pub, where miners shared tales of the mine, their laughter a release, their stories a way to honor the fallen. Tom's tale of a mate saved from a collapse, pulled free by hands like theirs, is a story John holds close, a reminder of their strength together. Thomas too learns this bond, his friendships with Annie and Sam a shield against the mind's loneliness. Their whispers a promise of care, their glances a light in the dark. The day stretches on, the mind's rhythm a relentless beat, the clink of picks a distant chorus. John swings his pick, the coal falling, his shovel scraping, his bond with Tom a warmth in the cold stone. Thomas pushes his cart, his small hands steady, his lamp a guide, his bond with Annie and Sam a spark of hope. The mine tests them, its darkness a weight, its dust a choke, its dangers a shadow, but their bonds are a fire, their unity a light that endures. The afternoon deepens, mine's pulse a steady hum, the creak of carts a soothing lullaby. The world of smoky villages fades, replaced by the damp stone, the choking dust, the flickering lamps. John and Thomas's story, woven with solidarity and toil, is a testament to the miner's spirit, a legacy etched in England's heart. As you drift towards sleep, let the hum of their voices carry you. The clink of the pick, a gentle whisper, their bond a dream that wraps you in peace. The evening settles over the Lancashire village, its stone cottages glowing with the soft light of hearths. The air cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of coal smoke and damp grass. John Miller sits by the fire in his small cottage, his hands still dusted with coal, his body weary from the day's toil in the crushing darkness of the mine. Beside him, his son Thomas, a boy of 10, curls up, his small frame warmed by the hearth's glow, his eyes heavy with sleep, his lamp set aside, its tin dented but precious. Mary, John's wife, hums a gentle tune, her hands floured from kneading. Doe, her smile, a beacon that softens the mind's lingering weight. The world below, the tunnels thick with dust, the air laced with poisonous gas. The clink of picks fades into memory, but its echoes remain, a testament to the miner's sweat and sacrifice that built an era. Welcome, dear listener, to the quiet, close of a miner's day, where the echoes of their labor ripple through time. A legacy of resilience etched in England's heart. As you rest in your cozy bed, far from the damp stone and choking air of 1800s Lancashire, let your mind drift to John and Thomas's story, a soothing tale of endurance that guides you gently. Toward sleep the cottage is a haven, its walls worn, but warm, its hearth crackling softly. The scent of broth and bread mingling with the smoky air, a stark contrast to the mine's sour temps. John sips his broth, its warmth spreading through his aching body, his hands resting on the rough table. Their calluses, a map of his labor. Thomas's breath slows, his small chest rising and falling. The dust on his face wiped clean by Mary's gentle hand, his cough quieter now in the fresh air. The mind's grip loosens in this moment, its darkness held at bay by the fire's light, its dangers a shadow softened by the family's bond. John's thoughts drift to the day's toil, the creaking cage, the choking dust, the flickering lamp, but here, in the cottage's warmth, those memories fade, replaced by the hum of Mary's tune, the glow of Thomas's sleepy smile. The village outside is quiet, its cobblestone paths empty, its cottages glowing with lamplight, their chimneys puffing faint clouds into the starry sky. The colliery looms in the distance, its head frame a dark silhouette, its winding engine silent now, its steam no longer hissing. The miner's work, Though unseen in this evening calm, is the pulse of the village, its coal fueling the hearths. The factories, the railways that stretch across England. John knows this, feels the weight of his labor in his bones, but also the pride of it, a pride shared by Tom's friend, whose cough echoes in the night, by Annie and Sam, the children, who toiled beside Thomas, their small hands vital to the mine's yield, their lives bound by the mine's demands, are a foundation of the nation's growth. Their sacrifice a silent force that drives progress. The echoes of the mine are not just in the coal that warms the village, but in the stories that linger, passed down in pubs and cottages, whispered in the quiet of the night. John recalls tales told by older miners of mates lost to explosions, their lamps snuffed out, their names honored in low voices over pints of ale. He thinks of a story Tom shared, of a collapse where miners worked together, their hands pulling, a trapped mate free, their bond a strength that defied the earth's weight. These stories are the mine's legacy, a tapestry of courage and loss that weaves through the village, through the lives of men like John, boys like Thomas, women like Mary who wait for their return. The mine's dangers, fire damp, black damp, falling rock, are a shadow that never fully fades. But the miner's resilience is a light that endures. Thomas stirs, his small hand clutching the blanket, his dreams carrying him away from the tunnels. 2 fields of green he's seen only on Sundays. To the sound of his mother's voice, his father's steady hand, John watches him, his heart full. The pain of Thomas's labor in the mine, a wound that lingers, but softened by this moment, by the warmth of home. Mary's hum weaves through the room, a melody of love and hope, a thread that ties them together, a family unbroken by the mine's cruelty. The hearth crackles, its light casting soft shadows, the air warm with the scent of wood and bread, a sanctuary where the mine's echoes are quieted, where the day's toil is set aside, if only for the night. The historical context of the miners. Legacy lies in the heart of the Industrial Revolution. When coal was the lifeblood of Britain's progress, its mines a crucible of labor and sacrifice. Reports like the 1842 Children's Employment Commission exposed the mine's horrors. Men and children working 10 to 12 hours in low seams, their lungs scarred by dust, their lives at risk from gas and collapses. Over 1,500 miners died yearly in the 1840s from explosions, drownings, or roof falls. Their deaths a stark reminder of the mine's cost. Yet, their labor-powered factories, railways, and homes, their coal the fuel of an era's growth. The Commission's findings sparked reforms. The Mines Act of 1842 banned women and children under 10 from underground work, though enforcement was weak, and boys like Thomas continued to toil. Later laws, like the 1872 Coal Mines Regulation Act, brought safety measures, better ventilation, stricter inspections, but change was slow. The miners' sacrifice a constant through decades of progress. The village's life is tied to the mine, its rhythm set by the shifts, its people shaped by the coal they pull from the earth. John knows men who've worked the mines for generations, their fathers and grandfathers bent in the same seams, their stories a legacy of endurance. He thinks of Tom, whose cough worsens each year, a reminder of the dust's toll, yet whose laughter in the pub, whose shared oil in the seam, is a bond that holds them together. He thinks of Annie and Sam, their small hands pushing carts, their whispers a defiance of the overseer's rules, their childhoods a price paid for the village's survival. The mine is a thief, stealing health and years, but it cannot take their spirit, their unity, their quiet pride in the work that fuels a nation. The cottage's warmth wraps around John, his body easing into the stool, his hands resting, the calluses a testament to his labor. Mary's hand brushes his, her touch a comfort, her eyes meeting his, a silent understanding of their shared life. Thomas sleeps, his breath steady, his small frame curled, the mind's weight lifted for now. John tells a story, his voice low, of a day when the cage broke, stranding miners below, their lamps burning low, their trust in each other a light that guided them until rescue came. The tale is for Thomas, for Mary, for the village, a reminder of the miner's strength, their bond of fire that burns through the dark. Mary's hum joins his words, their voices blending, a melody that carries the echoes of the mine, a song of resilience that lingers in the night. The village settles deeper into silence. Its cottages dark now, their hearths banked, their people resting. The colliery stands quiet, its head frame a shadow, its tunnels empty. Their echoes carried in the stories of men like John, boys like Thomas. The mine's dangers are a memory, its dust settled, its gases stilled. But its legacy lives in the villagers' hearts, in the railways that cross the land, in the factories that hum with coal's power. John's labor, Thomas's toil, are threads in a tapestry of progress. Their sacrifice, a foundation that endures. The stars shine above, their light soft, the air cool. The village a haven where the mine's echoes fade, where hope and love hold sway. The historical record of the miner's legacy is one of slow change, of voices rising from the dark. The 1842 Commission gave miners a voice, their testimonies of hardships sparking outrage, pushing for laws that eased the burden, shorter hours, safer conditions, bans on the youngest workers. Yet the mines remained harsh, their toll heavy, the reforms a gradual shift that took decades to take hold. By the late 1800s, unions formed, miners striking for better wages, safer seams. Their unity a force that challenged the coal owners' power. John and Thomas's story is part of this legacy, their labor a spark that lit the way for change, their resilience a light that shines through history. John's eyes grow heavy, the hearth's warmth a gentle pull, the mind's weight lifting, as sleep draws near. Mary's hand rests on his, her tune fading, her presence a comfort that anchors him. Thomas dreams, his small frame safe, his lamp a relic of the day's toil, its light no longer needed in the cottage's glow. The village sleeps, its pulse slow, its people bound by the mine's legacy, their lives a testament to endurance. The mine stands silent, its tunnels a memory, its echoes carried in the stories, the hearts of those who toiled below. John and Thomas's sacrifice, their bond, their resilience, are a legacy that endures. A whisper from the past that shapes the present. The night deepens, the village's silence a gentle hum, the crackle of the hearth a soothing lullaby. The world of the mine fades, its darkness replaced by the warmth of home, the light of family, the hope of rest. John and Thomas's story, woven with sweat and sacrifice, is a testament to the miner's spirit, a legacy etched in England's heart. As you drift towards sleep, let the glow of the hearth carry you, the hum of the village a gentle whisper, their resilience a dream that wraps you in peace. Life as a miner in 1800s England. The night has settled over the Lancashire village, its stone cottages cloaked in quiet, their hearths glowing softly, the air cool with the scent of damp grass and faint coal smoke. John Miller rests by the fire, his hands rough with calluses, folded on the worn table, his body weary from the mind's crushing darkness. Beside him, Thomas, his 10-year-old son, sleeps, his small frame curled under a blanket, the coal dust wiped from his face, his breath steady in the warmth of their cottage. Mary, John's wife, sits nearby, her hands still, her eyes soft with love, her gentle hum a melody that fills the room. A balm to the day's toil. The mines echoes clinking picks, creaking carts, the hiss of gas fade into the night. But their story lingers, a testament to the miners' courage, their sacrifice a foundation of England's heart. Welcome, dear listener, to the quiet close of John and Thomas's tale, a story woven with sweat and hope, a legacy that whispers through time. As you lie in your cozy bed, far from the damp tunnels and choking dust of 1800s England, let the warmth of their lives cradle you, their resilience a soothing lullaby to carry you into dreams. The cottage is a sanctuary, its hearth crackling, its light casting soft shadows on the walls, the scent of broth lingering, a stark contrast to the mine's sour temps. John's muscles relax, the ache of his labor easing, the weight of the pickaxe and shovel left behind at the colliery's edge. Thomas's lamp, dented and precious, rests on a shelf, its flame no longer needed, its tin a relic of the day's dangers, fire damp, black damp, the creaking timbers that threatened to fall. Mary's touch is gentle, her hand brushing John's, their bond a strength that holds the mine's shadows at bay. The village outside is still, its cobblestone paths empty, its cottages dark, their chimneys silent under a starry sky. The colliery looms in the distance, its head frame a shadow, its tunnels quiet now. But their echoes live in the coal that warms these homes, in the stories that bind this community. John's thoughts drift to the mine, to the seams where he and Thomas toiled, to the bond with Tom, whose cough echoed in the dark, to Annie and Sam, the children whose small hands pushed carts beside his son. Their labor, unseen by the world above, fueled the factories, the railways, the hearths that light England's nights. The mine was a cruel master, its darkness a weight, its gases a whisper of death. But their resilience was a fire, their unity, a light that endured. John thinks of the tales shared in the pub, of mates lost to explosions, of rescues forged by shared hands, stories that carry the miner's spirit, a legacy etched in the coal they pulled from the earth. The historical record of their lives captured in reports like the 1842 Children's Employment Commission tells of a brutal era where men and boys worked 10 to 12 hours in low seams, their lungs scarred by dust, their lives at risk from gas and collapses. Over 1,000 died yearly in the 1840s, their sacrifice a price for Britain's progress. Reforms came slowly. The Mines Act of 1842 banned the youngest children and women from underground work. Though boys like Thomas continued, their labor vital to families on the edge of poverty. Later laws, stricter inspections, and miners' unions brought change. But the miners' courage, their quiet strength, was the true force that shaped an era. Their legacy, a foundation that endures in the railways, the factories, the nation's heart. The village sleeps, its pulse slow, its people bound by the mine's echoes, their lives a testament to endurance. John's eyes grow heavy, the hearth's warmth a gentle pull, Mary's hum a melody that weaves through his dreams. Thomas sleeps soundly, his small frame safe, his childhood marked by toil but held by love. The mine's dangers fade, its dust settled, its darkness a memory. replaced by the cottage's glow, the family's bond, the hope of a new day. The stars shine above, their light soft, the air cool. The village a haven where the mind's weight lifts, where stories of courage linger, a whisper from the past that carries into the future as you rest. Dear listener, imagine the villages. Quiet, the hearths crackle, the gentle hum of a family at peace. John and Thomas's story is one of countless miners, their sweat and sacrifice a light that burns through history. The mines stand silent now, their tunnels empty, but their echoes live in the coal that warmed a nation, in the reforms that eased the burden, in the resilience that shaped a people. Where are you tonight? A cozy room in a bustling city, or a calm corner far away? Let the miners' courage cradle you, their legacy a soft whisper, their story a dream that wraps you in peace. The night is gentle, the stars bright, the world quiet sleep now, carried by the echoes of their lives into a rest as deep as the earth they toiled.